one last week for the kids. You know, it's always, people always ask me, when's the last day of school? It's like, for the children or for me? So the children's last day of school is next week. Teachers, we still have probably another few more days after that. Gotta close down the classroom, clean it, all that stuff. Um, I think our school is being used for some summer camps, so I also have to be like, I don't want people all up in my stuff. So I do have to this week note to myself, start taking some of my personal items out of the classroom. Things like my books. Actually, I do have a book that's a rare book. I think I'm gonna become one of those rare book people. As in, I had a book that I bought. Now this is already a side note, but it lifts my mood. So maybe that's a part of it. Hobbies lift your mood. But anyway, there was this children's book that I bought that I always wanted to get when I was a kid. I remembered it and I found it, ordered it. Almost a year later, it doubled in price because it's out of print, I believe. And so I was like, oh my goodness. Let me, because I had it in my classroom and the kids were looking at it and like, I was like, oh no, oh no. We can't have you messing up my book now because it's valuable now. Um, so maybe I'm going to be one of those like rare book people that has books because I have one that, like I said, I used to bring to school and I was like, no more. And then I actually have another one that is behind my desk. I do let them use that one, but you know, and maybe I need to have like some like literally, like, you know how when they have like these archived libraries or whatever, and it's like, you know, you got to go down there and you got to put the gloves on. It's like maybe I need to make them do all that. But that one's also a valuable out of print book too. So yeah, mood lifting. So with that, I can get more into working on helping my brother with lifting his mood and keeping him out of irritable feelings, because that's one of the symptoms of his disorder. I kind of noticed them. Some of the things is like, because of his short-term memory, he doesn't remember that he did a thing or said a thing, and then I'm just like, okay, and then he'll turn around and do the opposite like a few hours later. That bothers me, right? So I have to build up my own tolerance. So I think all of this works in that regard. So yes, there are some supplements that you can supplement your life with to make sure that even if you hear bad news and all this other stuff, it's just, you know, roll off your back kind of thing. Hi out there. I am Monica, a biohacker, music, uh, like, oh yeah, I need to start cross promoting more. All right, so I'm in a band. This one, music's out. I'm also a solo artist. This one's out too. Go ahead and like and subscribe, all the things, you know, uh, all the things. Like and subscribe. But anyway, I'm also a caregiver to my brother who is disabled. So I've been helping him figure out like what's gonna help him be healthy. He does enjoy eating salads, so that's good. So I have to keep him on the fruits and vegetables and all the other stuff. Lately, he's been on more sugar, and there's certain things I can't stop him from acquiring. When he has money, it's like, can't stop him, like I'm at work, whatever, you know, kind of thing. So sugar is not that great, and I hope most people are starting to realize that, especially artificial sugar. So I'm not opposed to all sugar, because I do provide him with fruits, plenty of fruits, all day, every day, because it has fiber as well in it, right? It's just the artificial sugar that's just really horrible for everybody. Um, so yeah, let's see if I can maneuver myself into the neighborhood. I'm trying to go to this other store that I don't usually go this route, but it's hot out there, and I'm like, oh. But anyway, so mood lifting. I've taught you about the adaptogens. I've myself have a favorite. And with that favorite, you kind of have to cycle on and off of it a little bit to be effective. I started him on that one, and then I moved him over. I'm slowly moving him over to another one, which I don't use as much, but I'm starting to use more rhodiola. So the one I love most is ashwagandha. It's like a gentle, like all of a sudden you're just like, yeah, things, yeah, I'm stuck in traffic, yeah, stuck in traffic. What do you want to do? Yeah. So it kind of gives you that kind of nonchalant, kind of like, well, okay, yeah, and you're not reacting. That's why I love it, and it's like it's subtle, and then you realize like, wow, I'm handling that pretty well, you know. So ashwagandha is that. Rhodiola, from my research years and years ago. So this is the thing. I know everybody now is talking about these kind of things, but I started, back in 2016, actually 2015. If you know my story, you know. I had a health scare, and I literally thought I was losing it, like mentally. So I had to start doing my own research on cognitive health. And one of the first things I come to realize is like a ketogenic lifestyle is optimal for that, for your brain. And then I got into the adaptogens. And one of the first ones that I started looking into was ashwagandha. Okay. That's why I love it so much. And then rhodiola I'd heard about and I read about, and what I read about it was that in, I guess, the 50s and 60s, Russia was using it a lot for their Olympic athletes. Like, I mean, it's illegal or anything like that, but those were one of the things that they were to help them deal with stress. So the plant itself is what is that wording? It is a plant that can sustain itself in harsh conditions. Okay, so rhodiola. So yeah, I'm starting on rhodiola. Well, actually, hadn't really started. We've kind of been on it now for about a week, 2 weeks now. So I've been kind of putting it in his tea, and I take it as well now because, like I said, I love my ashwagandha, but I can't take it consistently because you start to build a tolerance for it. The one reason I love it so much is because it keeps you in homeostasis. That's why I love that one. And homeostasis just means the best optimal way that you can be in your health. So say if you're depressed, it picks you up. Say if you're way too stressed out, it calms you down. So ashwagandha does that. Rhodiola just helps you manage stress. Okay, it's not a pick you up. So that's where I kind of had to add in, or I've started doing some more research on it. Saffron. And then ever since I started looking it up, now I want to hear the song, the Mellow Yellow song. That song. Yeah. They call it Mellow Yellow. It's a mood lifter, saffron. Okay. It's expensive, I've started to realize, but I got lucky. I'm not going to tell you how I got it yesterday, and I got it for $2 when really some places are selling it for $60. I don't know how good the quality of it is, but I mean, right now we're just starting experimenting with it. So I did get some in capsule form for my brother. I did take 1 or 2 myself in capsule form, but I'm mostly giving it to him. But then I got it in its pure, I guess, little rolled up form yesterday, like I said, for $2. I was like, what? So I'm going to keep a lookout now. There's certain places you can go and find it. And I was like, I'm going to keep it on supply. But yeah, so last night I had some, maybe that's why I'm okay now. I had some last night in cold form. I gave my brother some in warm form, tea brewed form. It doesn't take a lot, like a few, what they call threads of them. And maybe that's the other reason they're potent. So you don't need a lot. But yeah. And so it lifts your mood. It also helps with like your cardiovascular system and all this other stuff. So saffron, I'll report back on results. So he's get like I said, he's taking it in capsule form and thread form now that I have it. And I will occasionally, okay, person, and I will occasionally have it in thread form because I don't want to take up his supply. um, and I, like I said, I will report back the saffron flower. I want to know more about it. And that's the other thing. I do geek out on a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff is from around the world. Um, Stuff that is ancient things. Like when I finally got my mom into some of this stuff, one of the first things that she's into now is the frankincense and myrrh. That stuff is for real. Like people, tree saps, right? I mean, maple is tree sap, right? So yeah, some of the stuff is legit. And that's where a lot of medicines come from plants. A lot of people tend to forget that too. Um, so instead of taking a pill, but the thing is, it's not aloistic. It's homeogen. Is what do you call that? It's something that you can't. Let me just put it in regular people words. So the difference between taking a medicine pill versus incorporating a lot of this stuff into your system is the buildup. Like, just like when somebody says, say, if you're trying to lose weight or whatever, and you start eating salad for one day, you're not losing 20 pounds from eating one salad in one day. You gotta do it, right? Same thing with all health. It's not going to happen just because you took it one time. Now, medicine, chemistry, all of that, yeah, that did that. That's why people take ibuprofens or whatever, aspirins instead of willow bark. Um, it's more immediate. It cuts right into the chemistry. But this is a lot more, it takes more commitment and time to build up, right? So early on, when I was doing all of mine, I call them experiments. It takes 30 days for you to start noticing anything. So with my brother, yeah, it's going to take maybe a couple more weeks for me to figure out and also notice his other manic depressive cycles at the same time and along with his other medicine doses. Like that's a lot to keep up with, but I mean, I kind of need to in order to keep him healthy and safe. Um, and then, like I said, I'm also taking that saffron back to the saffron because I want to know, like, is it really going to help, or I don't know. It's like we'll see. And what else is going on? Like, I do have a couple of other things I want to try, but that's the other thing. When I start like finding a bunch of stuff, is it the saffron or is it the rhodiola or is it both in combination? Uh, yeah. Then, just saying, it's a lot to think about. And as I start to put together, I don't want to say formulas, but yeah, my formulas, maybe I'll start sharing them more publicly. My stacks, as they call them in the biohacking world, my stacks. Because there are some things that are super helpful, and I'm not saying no to any kind of medication, but sometimes you can have things that are helpful, okay, in combination with. I am about the in combination with. So at one time, maybe a year ago, because I was worried about my getting my brother his medication, I was like, what am I going to do if we run out of medicine? Like, that's still a real issue with like this whole presidency and all this other foolishness. My brother's been disabled since 2003. Okay. He's been disabled. And the nature of his disability is that it's not physical. Like if somebody saw him, they would think that, you can go to work. It's like, no, he cannot because he can't put two sentences together that make sense. Okay. So, yeah. But he can stay in a good mood. I'd rather that, you know what I mean? Like I want to increase the quality of his life. Even though I would love to see him heal, and I said this in another video, I do want for him to be more healed. And I think that's possible too. But even in the meantime, I don't want him to suffer. And that's a lot of the reason why I do what I do for myself. I'm not trying to beat the inevitableness of passing on into the next realm or whatever. I just want my quality of life to be good. And that's what I've been trying to tell people in my family. It's like, I mean, there's a difference between a sick 40 years old versus a healthy 40 years old, a sick 65 years old versus a well, healthy, active 65-year-old. I want to be on the well part of that, right? So aging doesn't have to mean you're completely like out of commission. Okay, I hope people are starting to realize that. But it takes doing the work now. Okay, because it does, like I said, back to what I was saying, there ain't no pill for that, y'all. There's no pill to keep you instantly young and active forever. So you have to start. Got to start soon, early. Okay, soon and early. Make sure you watch my videos, my playlist about this, you know, the journey me and my brother are on right now. Like I said, I'll probably start, you know, doing some videos about some stacks, looking into, I don't know, working with a company or two. I don't know, maybe to start selling. But at the same time, I'm giving y'all free information. Okay, free information. Things like drink water, go exercise, go stretch. Seriously, some of that stuff. Okay, laugh more. Mood lifters, like I said earlier, hobbies. Go like, and I'm not meaning scroll, boop, boop, beat. I'm talking about physical things that you can do that will help increase your serotonin. Okay, go out into the world, do stuff. Go walk in nature. All that stuff is free. Okay, and I'm telling you. All right, so like I said, I'm running an errand or two, and then I'm gonna head back to my house and work on some things. I'm also in school too, by the way. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm active. I'm doing stuff. You can't do all the things that I've done without having some kind of edge, right? Like I'm on this CD. I'm like I did 3 of these songs with my band. This is my debut from like a lot of years ago. This is one of the CDs. I have another one. Actually, I have 2 more. So, yeah, I'm doing stuff and caregiving and in school and at work. I'm doing stuff, right? And people say, "What's your secret?" It's like, it's been a bumpy school year. I will say this, but I biohack, y'all. I take care of my body. I make sure I do the things I need to do for myself. I mean, let's see. I've got right now in my purse, pulling it out. Green tea, L-theanine, green tea. Also, I'm gonna cover up the name brand Kava. I'm a Kava girl. Okay, all the things. Okay, so I've got a wealth of information right in here. Ain't no AI to tell me this. I've been in this game since 2015. Okay, taking care of my health. Been in it. Actually, even longer than that, quite honestly. But you know. But let me go and take care. I might pop on again later today. Who knows? But like I said, I was saying earlier, the kids will be out of school this week. I've got to start closing down my classroom and getting ready for summer schedule for myself. And part of that is, yeah, biohacking and getting myself back in shape. Probably lifting weights too, quite honestly, because that's the other thing I was realizing. I was like, I need to lift. I need to go back to lifting weights. I used to do that when I was younger. So yeah. Ain't trying to be, muscle mommy or nothing like that, but I just want to be able to not have my back hurt. I was like, no, because I used to be walking a lot. Yeah, as a dancer too. It's like my knees are still good. That's the other thing. People don't realize that. But yeah, my knees are still awesome. It's just my back. My back. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna go. Take care out there. Be well. Drink your waters. Bye. And electrolytes. Coconut water.